Formula One, just breaking news today.
I don't know why I did that.
So even Chauncey
Look
is
at
like,
Chance as well. She's like spooked. She's like, what the hell?
breaking news, Lewis Hamilton is going to drive a Ferrari in 2025.
This is unnatural.
This is nuts.
Like,
Wait, hold on. So he's still got a year contract with Mercedes.
Yeah.
For,
Oh.
I thought I read somewhere that like
Has he gotten out?
I thought I read somewhere that he's been able to try to exercise something of leaving a little
No,
early.
he can't. He can't.
But
So
I think
Like
that's
gardening leave.
I've got a big conspiracy theory here.
Ew, here we go.
So the conspiracy theory is the CEO of Netflix said, "Look, we don't have any new narratives for this year.
We need
So
Drive to
what's
Survive
we need
next
drama
season."
and
Season, what is it, 6 now or something?
I don't know
like that?
whatever
Yeah.
it is, and give me the biggest drama narrative because this is as big as it gets. Like I can't remember what season of Drive to Survive where they had this like what's the Aussie? Jesus, come on, man.
Daniel Ricciardo.
Ricardo did the same thing, right? To I forgot. Anyway,
Red Bull to Red Bull? No?
yeah, Red Bull to Peugeot. Is it Peugeot? I can't remember. Whatever. I
It's
can't
an
remember.
orange one, no?
No, it's the yellow one back in the day. Anyway, doesn't matter. Lewis Hamilton to
We tried,
Mercedes.
guys. We tried.
Lewis Hamilton to Mercedes is like, I mean, LeBron James has moved to a couple of teams now. Is like amongst your biggest stars, although he's at the twilight of his career. I mean, he'll go from being the most winningest driver in Mercedes to try and get something in Ferrari. That's like nuts. Like I don't think a lot of people can visualize him in a red.
Yeah, it's
like the car, right?
His dreads and the vibes is not going to go well.
He likes
So, like,
pasta.
the
What? Do you
black-
think the
he likes
Italians are not gonna like him?
Oh no! I'm just saying the color scheme, right? But then also like because I know nothing about cars, right? And I assume we probably aren't well versed either, right? But it's like
Speak for yourself. But yeah.
the spec. Here we go. Like the specs between the two different cars, like it's
Okay, I can
Wait, what have you
intervene
got?
here.
What have you got?
I can intervene here, but before we go into that, so you're right. So Lewis Hamilton actually last year he renegotiated his his contract with Mercedes. So it meant that this contract was going to see him until the end of 2025.
Yeah.
But it had a clause in it which actually allowed him to break the contract. So
Yeah.
the reason I'm saying this is what it means is good old Toto Wolff and company. This was a blindside. All right.
Toto.
This was a blindside for them
I know
because they
Toto.
were under the impression that he was at least secured up until 2025, but he
Yeah.
exercised it. So a couple of things is Lewis Hamilton in 2 years hasn't won a race. So he's in the decline of his year. So ever since 2 years ago when they had that dramatic last race with Max Verstappen and Red Bull, and there was a lot of drama there, it's been the Red Bull and Max show, right? So Williams, I forgot the name of the guy that moved from Williams to Mercedes as well. So there's been a transitioning of the guard, and there's been obviously a lot of issues with the Mercedes car. So a move for Lewis Hamilton from Mercedes to Ferrari signals one of two things. One is it signals that in the twilight of his career, he doesn't have trust in the Mercedes car, the Mercedes engineering team, that they will allow him to win it. So he thinks that Ferrari will be able to do that. And number two, it's a weird thing, but when you think Formula One, what brand do you think? You think Ferrari, right? It's Ferrari. It's red. And so the Ferrari brand has always been associated as prestigious. You think Ferrari, you think Michael Schumacher, and this is kind of like I don't know how an analogy to use, but you know when you tick off certain companies in your resume because you know it's going to look good, you want to say that
you've made it when you
were a Ferrari driver, right? But the interesting narrative,
arguably the commercials from like even just the sponsorship or it's
gonna go nuts.
The merchandise
It's
point
gonna
of
go
view
nuts.
would be like
The interesting thing is when people were you remember Bottas?
Bottas.
When Bottas was Lewis Hamilton's teammate. So the drama in Formula One is they have two drivers, right? And there's always a preferred driver, right? So Lewis Hamilton, Lewis Hamilton was always the preferred driver back in the day. Well, not back in the day, still now, right?
Yeah.
So what that meant,
designated driver.
so what that mean is any of the tactics were preferential towards pushing Lewis Hamilton. So he's going to go into a team which the preferential driver is Charles Leclerc. So this guy's a young gun, effectively, right?
Is this in Ferrari?
Yeah, in Ferrari.
Yeah, right.
So he's basically going in at the the back end of his career with the credentials that he has.
Yeah.
And he is no doubt a good driver, right? So let's just say that the Ferrari car is exponentially better than Mercedes, which it's not necessarily the case, but let's just say it's better than that. I think the interesting drama we're really going to see is if Lewis still has it in him, what's the internal competition going to be between those two guys? Because Charles Leclerc is a young stud, and he's also very competitive. So if you're a guy like him, that's, for example, used to getting that preferential treatment, because he was, not preferential treatment, but he was the guy, and Lewis Hamilton comes in, and all of a sudden they start being equal, what's going to happen? All I'm going to say is, like, I think the Drive to Survive guys just literally just planted this in.
This is a whole season.
This is a whole season in itself. The other drama...
You're just covering all the races constantly, right? You pepper in a little bit of other coverage of everyone else, and it's like...
The other drama is who's going to... So... Carlos Sainz is a very popular driver in himself, good-looking bloke. All the girls, all the ladies love him. The other driver, right? So clearly he's going to be kicked out. Like they can't have more than that, and he's not going to be a P3 driver, right? So where does he go?
Mercedes, right?
Well, logically it makes sense there. There's been rumors
but I mean, like
for Williams.
So there could be like a whole swap, really.
That's happened in Formula One. That's happened before. But the main thing is. And again, we've seen this again with, what's the Aussie guy's name? Ricardo. How do you go into a job for a whole year knowing that you're not going to be there? And Toto Wolff just say, fuck this guy, man. Like, we did so many things together. You're going to leave me? Like, it's going to create a weird dynamic.
So look forward to the face to cams, man. That would be so cool.
So you know what? Like, what is it? It's Feb, right? I think Drive to Survive is on 23rd of Feb or something. I don't care about this year. I'm waiting for next year now.
Yeah.
They're already starting production as we speak.
They're already thinking of all the storyboards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, we got to cover all of this. But yeah, all my input that I can put in is that, shout out to my friends because they're big fans of Drive to Survive. So I often hear them chatting about this stuff. And
are they experiencing the loss at the moment?
Oh yeah, I've seen they've been pretty active on socials about it, and it's coincidental because when this news broke out, I just watched Ferrari, so that's my connection.
Did you bring that? I want to watch it.
That's point A to point B.
Connection. Yep.
My point A to point B.
That's her input. That is it.
I watched the movie and I was like, damn.
I tell you what, Lewis Hamilton's going to fit in so well there because he's going to go to Italy. He's going to get brand sponsorships off the Richter. The fashion connection will work so well.
He's extracting as much value as he can for the life of.
And for the Italians, the diversity quota will go up. It's great. It's a win-win.
100%.
It's a win-win. But tell me this. Okay, so do you think that the quote and unquote Lewis Hamilton fans now go to Ferrari, or when you follow Formula One, do you follow the car? Because in basketball, for example, a lot of people follow players, right?
Yeah,
that's a very common thing.
Biggest gripe that he has.
That's not a gripe. It's another point. But do you think that Mercedes fans are going to follow Hamilton over the ditch?
Well, no, if they like the branding of Mercedes and
it's a Formula One car. They're all shaped the same, effectively. It's just got a coat of paint and engine.
No, but it's your sense of identity. It could, in the same way that your analogy of whether you follow the player or the team, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, I guess you can't. You can barely see the guys racing anyway.
Just follow, the wings.
I don't know. There'll definitely be like a group of Mercedes defectors, but. We'll see.
Depending if they're Hamilton loyalists and all that, so it'll be interesting.
I know a couple. I've known a couple of people that I've worked with, that are hammer. We call them that are like hammer hardheads.
Hammerheads.
Hammerheads.
Yeah.
That's the new term, guys.
New term.
So they'll be having to update all of their merch.
Oh gosh,
it's an expensive endeavor. Those things aren't cheap. Puma's 40% off is gone too as well.